initially. So how did the film come about in the first place?
The subject is a very interesting subject in Hungary because they don't really speak about it. It's really a secret thing, I think. Some writer write a book about it, but it's really not in a cultural discussion. And I felt that we have to do something with this because it's a subject which needs to be speak out, I think. And the other thing is that in Hungary, I think it's a national characteristic that we don't really face with our problems and with ourselves. And I felt that we should start it. So this is how it came, and I wrote something, and it was a short film for the first time, and then we realized that it's not so short. We thought it's about 50 minutes, and then Ferenc thought that it's worth to work with it.
In the last 7 or 8 years, my company did several co-production with the university because this film it's Sára's graduate film, and we do co-productions with the university for graduate films. Most of them is short, and that was the basic situation how we started working together. We choose, for example, from Sára's class, we choose 3 guys to do this kind of co-production. And when we decided about this story and working together, it came up that it's going to be too long because 50 minutes, I never wanted to produce any film for 50 minutes long because there is no market for this kind of films. It's too, just maybe you can sell in TV or if it's a TV something, but it's, I don't like this length. And then we started thinking about, okay, how we can solve this problem because
Of the budget?
Yes, of the budget and of the creative problem. And Sára started to rewrite the script and started working on the script with the
dialogue
writer
and with the script doctor.
And finally, we found a way how we can have a. We believed at the time it's gonna be just a 75 minutes or 80 minutes long something, and we decided, okay, let's do it and start shooting.
And where did you get the money for it?
This film was made only from private equities and in-kind support.
And what was the budget?
At the beginning, the budget was just less than 100,000 euros, but finally it's more than 220.
With the post-production?
With the post-production and with everything, yeah.
And has it been released? Is it
Not yet. We're gonna be released in October.
in Hungary?
In Hungary, and the world premiere is supposed to be in Karlovy in
Next
2 weeks or 3 weeks
Okay.
in the East of the West competition.
I wanted to keep the rules that it's American thing that that one page is 1 minute, but I knew that it's not true for this film. But I wanted to keep it to calm Ferenc and to show him that it's gonna reach this feature long time, But yes, so there was just one line on a page, and I knew that it's 1 minute, only just one line. So many things what we wrote was out from the film. It's a very heavy subject, so I felt that it's very short, but usually I just write very shortly, and I know that it's in film time it's much longer. But this subject I felt at the beginning that I can't show it in 20 minutes, this story.
And how long did it take? How long was the shoot?
20 days.
Originally it was 16
15?
days, 16,
Yeah, 16.
and after we had to go back and we had 2 or 3 extra days, almost half year later.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there was something what we couldn't shoot at that time, so yeah, we had 4 more days.
And the actors, you're working with the actors in rehearsal for a long time before? Or you
No, just I had like 3 or 4 days to rehearse, but and this rehearsing was not really a rehearsing. So we were speaking about the story and speaking about the character, but we were mostly drink a lot and try to know each other deeply.
And to be honest, everything's happened really quickly in this production. I mean, from the
Yes.
idea and from the decision, okay, let's go work together. It was just 5 or 6 months and we shot the film. I mean, I think this is not the way which I recommend to work, but sometimes it happens, and sometimes you feel you have to let the things flow and just go ahead and do it.
Did you do a lot of research for this film? Because with the historical context.
I went to people who were in that kind of a story. So we had a very famous writer in Hungary. He died, and his friend. So it's a little bit it's not the same story, but there is some inspiration in their stories. And I met that guy and I spoke a lot with him. And in this generation, I spoke with many people about it.
If I may add something, you have to know that although Hungary is the only country which never opened up the files, I mean, we are the only country where the archive
It's
of
not
the
open.
former...
It's not open?
No, it's still not open. It's still not public. The only country which never ever made public the former Secret Services files. So personally you can get not the name of who was reporting about you, but what was reported about you. But it takes time to collecting, they are given to you. Now, because of what is written in those reports, you can find out who was back then present and who knew the thing which is written there. On the other hand, everybody in Hungary, mostly moving in this intellectual circle, knows the stories which came out during this. So, just to make you understand, Sára is young, but even for her generation, it's not that far history, because it's a subject of the everyday discussions, and it's very much in the part of our life to deal with it, and we know the stories.
And this is the first one to address that in Hungary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just to talk about it, for me, there's a sort of thematic images throughout the film of these sort of dual where you place your camera, effectively. So every scene, there's 2 things going on, or there's a sort of fork in the road, or there's a kind of feeling of duality.
Yeah,
And, so this was you had this from the very beginning. A
Yes.
Visual concept.
Yes, because the subject gives me this, that this dual thing has to go, and also the budget, because I knew that. But I think it's a lucky situation for me, because I knew that we don't have money to make close-ups and to move with the camera, so I had to direct that. I knew that we put down the camera, and I wanted to have layers and deeper things. And I'm not the kind of director who is pushing something onto the actors. So I just, and especially at this film when it was really we have to do everything very quickly. So I didn't have much time I don't know, to build up a character with the actor. So I just I knew that his feelings about the subject and about the character is right after the discussions. And when we were shooting, I didn't push him anything which is not him. So I just I wanted him to live as this character, but especially him. So I just wanted to see how he deals with that problems and how he deals with this life, what the character has. And yeah, so I didn't force something which is not him. And so I always use actors because of what they are.
And the relationship between you, how you are working as a producer with the director, you're letting her do, she knows what she wants to do, providing the creative input. Is there creative input in the script of that during the process?
I think only about the decision, because at the beginning Sára had another project.
Okay.
And we discussed. I read this short project, and we met and we talked about it, and I thought I don't like that project. I don't want to do this, but I feel something from Sára, and I think maybe she's talented because I saw her previous short, etc. And we started discuss that she has any other project or any script or any ideas. And then she told me, oh, I have another one about this topic, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna read, and if I like, I'm open to do this story, because the story sounds promising. And after we start, I read, I liked it, and we decided to work. And after when we realized it's going to be longer, and we decided to develop a long feature film, then I asked Sára to work with a script doctor, and I recommended to this girl, and she's Gabriela Prekop, because she's in the same age as the characters, and she's quite well known in Europe, and she works for many script training programs, and she was the script doctor and co-writer for István Szabó's films in the past, and I called Gabriela, and she read the script, and she told, okay, Ferenc, I accept, and after they started working together on the script.
And what's that process then when you do that together? What's the process that you're doing with her when you do that?
We've met like 5 times, and we were talking about. But it's for me it was good because she gave me to be more confident, but I think I didn't have much problem in the script, so we didn't have to make or to find solutions, because I think it was okay. We just had to grow it. We just made some additional dialogues and additional, I don't know, like, don't use this word, use this word instead of this, but it was very good for me, because this was my first feature script, so it was very useful.
What's the reason why you plan to make a low budget?
Because we didn't have any chance to be financed from funds, or especially from state funds, and especially in the last 2 years, because in Hungary there was I don't know, a changing period.
As a minimum, that's what we can call it, yes.
It's a really polite word. In 2010 we had an election, and we got a new government, and the new government decided about to close the film fund, and especially they wanted.
In the UK. Yeah,
almost the same. and it's okay that they wanted to have a new fund, another fund, and with other members and other people and other sources, but unfortunately the decision about the closing was earlier than they ever thought anything about the new system. It means they closed everything, and after it took 2 years to open the new fund. And that was 2 years in the film industry in 2010, 11 and 12, when there was any sources for film. And especially we knew, even if there is a fund or there is some money, they won't like this topic, because everybody was worried about it. Because almost everybody if there is a circle with decision makers, I'm sure half of them was involved in a way. And the whole situation started with for example, with the DOP, because the DOP was the classmate of Sára, but he had a previous short in the university which film won a DOP award in Hungary, and this award was a kind of Panavision package. And he was open to bring this package to the production. It means we had a camera for free, a Panavision. And there is a codec package which is related to the university. The university has a contract with the codec, and the codec is always open to give the stock for, I don't know, for 5% of the rate card price for exam films, for student films, if it's made in the frame of the university. And it means just almost for nothing we had a camera, and we had 35 codec stock. And a lot of things like this happened. And at the beginning we felt, okay, if we are talking about the real cash, we need just a few, it's okay, not a few, but we felt, okay, we just need to have 100,000 euros maximum in cash. And I knew another production company who has 2 owners, and they are in the same age, not like me, like the characters in the film, and they know this. I believe they're gonna understand the story, and they could love the story. And we had a good relationship. We already worked together a few times in the past. And I sent them the script, and I asked them, what do you think about it? What do you think about to invest your money in this film? And finally they liked the script, and they decided to put money in the project. And they are in the special situation because they are running with their film company, I don't know, 20 years ago or 25, and they did a lot of commercials, a lot of service job for foreigners, and I mean the company is in a really good shape, and they had money to input to put in student films or for just young talents films. And that was the basic idea. Just put together the cash with this company, 50-50, and try to use all of the in-kind possibilities, like camera, stock, some post-production, some other thing. And the other was that because many people was from the university, most of them worked just a kind of symbolic salary or free, or I mean, almost in this production, almost everybody worked for free. I mean, for not. No, finally the post-production we found a company who did the scanning for free, and
you've got one at the BFB. They have.
And we found another company who made the color grading for free as a co-producer in Germany.
The Post-Republic.
Post-Republic, yeah. And only we were in trouble, and we are still in trouble with the sound, Because in Hungary the sound is really expensive and they really don't like to negotiate and they don't like to support young talents. I don't know why, but that's the only one department in Hungary who are almost never able to negotiate. I mean, they especially finally in the budget, the most expensive part is the sound department.
And the editing, it was
The editing was
It was in the school.
in the school, and Sára's classmate was the editor. And we were waiting. I mean, we were waiting for an invitation from an A category festival because that was our plan to start somewhere in an A category, and after we want to send for many festivals, and this autumn we want to release in cinema in Hungary, and I hope we're gonna be able to sell to, I don't know, somewhere.
So do you use
The
sales
film to TV.
agents sometimes?
Yeah, we have a sales agent, and especially our sales agent is the new Hungarian Film Fund.
So,
It's a strange situation.
so they didn't put any money in, but now they say, okay, we'll
Yeah.
help you get some money and then we'll take a share.
Yeah.
Great.
Tricky. And now we're gonna launch in Karlovy. If we're gonna be ready. Because we are still working on the DCP.
Did you do a kind of sales estimate where you thought about how much money you would expect?
No, I know it. We're never gonna be able to sell the film for this amount. I mean, we never
The cost of
for
it?
the cost.
No,
No.
And so investors knew that as well in a way.
Because at the beginning we believed it's gonna be just less money.
Okay.
And especially we have a different policy when we accept to do a co-production with the university. We never thought it's a kind of real investment. We believed it's a yes. It's we always believe it's a kind of investment in our future in the industry.
Yeah.
This is not a real commercial, economical reason why we invest in universities' films.
But it's to assist the students in their careers then?
Yeah.
So you're the Hungarian Film Fund then? You become like
But I'm not the only one. I mean there are a few other Hungarian companies who has the same kind of attitude, and like
the guy who
5 or 6 companies, and all of us we are running. I mean, sometimes just walking, but we are running in the commercial business too. I mean, we do commercial sports, and we sometimes we do services, and we do international co-productions, and in the
bring in the money.
sometimes we have chance to earn money, to make profits in the company, and from this profit, and of course it should be easier to take home this profit, but sometimes we decide about to reinvest in the industry, and that's the way. Yeah, usually I really hate when I have to sit down with somebody and negotiate as a producer and ask, okay, but we don't have enough money, etc. You should accept the lower price, etc. But of course, in these 2 years, it was much more easier because mostly the people think it's just a kind of producer skill or a tool. But in the last 2 years, everybody believed it. I mean, it was not a tool or something. It was the real life.
Yeah.
And it was a different. I hope it was a different age, and I hope. We would like to sell, but only the national TV could be the one option, because the commercial channels never buy this kind of thing. Never ever.
And given the importance of the story, or it's still a story they don't want to discuss on TV.
I think they don't really want to discuss it. Because now they just wanted to make a new law about to open this search, to make it free for everybody, but
It was rejected.
it's rejected.
In the parliament.
Just a few weeks ago.
To make it free, because you have to pay to look at your files.
Not
Not
just
for
pay,
free,
no,
not for
you
free.
cannot.
legal,
Just
there's
open.
no legal chance to open the files.
Okay.
As I understand, this is quite exceptional a bit depressing situation going on, because you have a lot of support from your fellow filmmakers who do this for free out of love for the Hungarian cinema. But how do you see this going on? I mean, this is probably a one-time situation. You put your own money into this project because you believe in the project.
Of course, they won't be able to do it for a long time, especially they are about to finish this kind of help. But at the end of last year, the new fund opened the door, and somewhere in the beginning of this year, they started to support new projects for development, for writing and development, and already there is 4 or 5 long features which got support for production, mostly around 500,000 euros each. But they've got the decision. I mean, it seems the new fund started working, and everybody has a chance to apply. Of course, they have a kind of taste, and they have a totally different system. We don't know yet. You know, this is the period when we taste and we try, and we need a year or 1.5 years or maybe 2 years to get the result, to see the new films, what kind of films do they support, or how do they support, and because the structure of the new fund is totally different as before.
And they're going for more commercial product, that's what they're trying to do.
You don't know. You don't know.
To be based on the decisions in the last 6 months, no, this is not true. But maybe it's just a kind of feeding period. I don't know.
Feeding
But
their friends.
They supported, I think, 50 projects for development, and from Mundrucó, György Pálfi, and of course some of them is a real commercial projects. And for shooting, they supported Nemes Gyula.
For sure.
He's not commercial. It's 100% sure.
Absolutely.
He's crazy. He's unique.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.